Hey folks, welcome back to, welcome back to a very rainy, wet British Columbia. We're up here today at Stewart, which is Charlie Zulu Sierra Tango, up here in the, up in the fjords of British Columbia, and it is a nasty day here. Visibility is about 5 miles, it's pretty trash, and we gotta go. Unfortunately, we have to get out of here. We have to go on the flight today because there is a mine camp a valley over. It's going to be about 30 miles or so. Now, they have a work flight that comes in and out every week or two. It's a twin otter that comes up from Terrace, stops off here, goes to the mine. Well, unfortunately, one of the miners has a heart condition, and they are basically expecting... We're expecting the heart medication to arrive on the next flight in, only the guys had a episode. So, while I was down here dropping off some hikers, they told us, look, we've got this stuff here, can you take it out there? It's nasty, someone's got to do it, the guy depends on it, so we're going to have to go. We've got reports of overcast to about 3,000, 4,000, heavy rain, winds up to 35 knots. It is pretty gnarly outside, so we got us to do what we got us to do. So let's get our beacon on. Okay, good to go. Get our engine mixture in. Fuel tank is selected to left. A bit of cow flap. Probably going to put some P28 on for the duration of this because of the conditions we'll be in. You know, it helps if you have the battery on rather than the alternator yet. Okay, so we are going to start up now. We've got engine start, good. Okay, let's get our nav lights on. Landing in taxi, everything's lit up nicely. Like I said, winds are pretty gnarly right now, so this is going to be a pretty hairy flight for us. We don't need instrument lights on, we should be good, but I might want them on for later. We'll just decide on that as we go. Alternator on. Fuel pumps are off. Let's get our yoke back. Okay, don't see anything else on the ramp. Nobody else is flying on a nasty Delta. So we're going to be departing on 3-6 up the valley. So, November... oh no, hang on. Need to tune my radio. That would be a good start. We need to be on 3 and it's 122. Whenever I work at how to actually... nope, that's that component. That's still that component. Where the heck do we know? Do I dial my main frequency in? Huh? No? Not here? Would like to change the actual hertz rating, please. Are we doing that? There we go. Okay, switch comm frequency. November 3038 at a Stewart, going to be departing north on runway 36, taxiing for the active at this time. Pretty long runway here at Stewart. I don't want to use any flaps for our departure because it is nasty AF. You can see the wind knocking stuff around here already. Remember 3038 entering runway 3618 for departure north. Back taxi. Let's try and crane my neck up a little bit here and see what I can see. Okay, there we go. Let's try to stick to one side of the runway so I can turn around when we get there. Oh god, yeah, the wind is already pushing me. This is pleasant. I like this. Totally on board with this idea. What am I doing? So, directions to the mine are pretty simple. It's a case of fly 2 valleys, take a right. Follow the mezzanine. Oh god, no, 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 stop, 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 stop. Wet conditions, we're just going to roll into the gravel. Wasn't looking at my speed because it'll water throwing up visibility issues. Remember 3038 departing north runway 36. We're not going to take off on any flaps because the winds are so freaking gnarly. We just want to make sure we have a complete handle on the plane. Come on, behave yourself. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, I think is the word we're looking for in this one. It's windy. Yeah, it's windy. Real windy. So our flaps are up there. That's the little town of Stewart we just left. You saw how we leapt into the air, kind of ass first. Yeah, it's brisk. I'm going to try and get some altitude here. We're going to drop our power down. Drop our RPM to our kind of flight setting here. Knock a bit of conditioner out because even though we're low level, we don't want to run full rich. It's not particularly good for the plane. Okay, so we're heading up now the valley. Now the first turning on our right we don't want to take. We want to take the second one, which crosses over a small glacial lake and kicks out into the bigger lake. Mezindin Lake is what we're heading for. And we're going to take the turning at Mount Gladstone. So once we see that coming up ahead of us, we should be good to go. But this is pretty nasty. So we're staying about 1,000 feet for this one. We don't want to go much higher because of just how mucky it is outside. It is absolutely disgusting out there. And as you can see, I'm indicating over 140. And my ground speed's 100 knots. Yeah, it's windy. And we have a bit of a headwind right now. But we haven't got a huge distance to go. Just need to maintain visual with the ground so I can see where we are going. Now that's going to be the first faux valley, or second one, I think. Yeah, that's the first one. We aren't turning down here. Although I think the one we aren't turning down is just up ahead. There's a bridge across the opening of it, if memory serves. Out of character a moment. I like doing these sort of scenarios, giving myself a reason to go somewhere, the conditions maybe what they are. This is what bush flying is. You got to fly in the nasty, the difficult, the awkward, to places that don't have a GPS lock or places that don't have a nav aid. It's hard. It requires you to look at the ground, to work out where you're flying to understand your aeroplane, to be competent with the plane. Our landing at the Nass River Camp is going to be really difficult because it's an uphill dirt strip. It's wet and it's windy. Pretty much horrible conditions, but this is what we're flying for, and giving myself reasons to go that are realistic. Like, you know, the guy's medication was meant to come out in about a week on the supply plane. Only he's had an episode sooner. He needs it now, and that's the call a lot of bush pilots get in places like Canada and Alaska. It's stuff that has to go somewhere, and it's time sensitive or it's people sensitive, and it has to go. Right, let's turn the terrain page on. So this is the one we don't go down. This is the one we do. So that was back there. Or is it? No, we're coming up on the false entrance, which, if I recall, does have a bridge in the mouth. And we want this one here, which is all kosher. Okay, so this is the false entrance. I believe correctly. Yep, there's the bridge. Okay, so that's not the one we want. We want the next one. So this turning here to that little glacial lake. Okay, it is really, really, really windy right now. I'm trying to manage the plane as best I can. We're being thrown around a little bit. Wind's a bit more controlled in the valleys because obviously it's a funneling effect, so we're not being buffeted quite as much as we might be. but it's certainly not making things smooth for us. Terrain mode on GPS is fantastic because it lets me see where I'm actually going based on the actual ground below me, not just in theory. Really useful tool for bush flying when you're basically using a topographic map to navigate and by features you can see. Once we get turned onto this valley, we should pick up a little speed once we're out of in the lee of the wind, I should say, because that mountain should give us some shielding, and we should be able to pick up some speed. Ah, it's buffety. I would say British Columbia is pretty, but it is. You just can't see a lot of it today. That'll be Mount Gladstone up ahead of us, just up on this side. And this is the road we're following. Now, from what I've been told, there are several breaks in this road from rock slides throughout the summer and the rainy season, so not very passable to vehicles. We've been working on clearing it, but that's why right now the supply plane and us are the only real option we've got. So this is our turning up ahead of us. Yes, that forested hillside is where we're heading. And the wind started to buffet us more as we start to turn across the wind rather than straight into it. When we were straight into it, we were kind of protected somewhat. Look at that. Wow. British Columbia at its wet and nastiest. And we're being blown towards the hillside. That's good. Okay. Need to try and negate that as much as possible, but I need to stay below the clouds so I can see where we're going. Because I ain't got no nav aids. Don't fly into stuff like that. Yeah, my reference for this entire flight has been a topographic map being pointed out where the camp is, seeing, okay, I go up this valley, I go past one false entrance, and I go down a second valley on the right, follow Menzinen Lake, the north shore, and we should come across the Nass River and the Nass River camp, which is our destination. That simple. Okay. You can just see up on your left mountain peaks, and on our right mountain peaks as well. Welcome to British Columbia. This is wild. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. It's starting to get a little spicy as we get crosswind. You'll see we picked up speed. We're doing 120 knots now ground speed because we're out of the wind, although it seems to be funneling down from the hillside there to our north and kicking our butts. So we need to keep our nose somewhat pointed in the northerly direction. And because we're in such a narrow channel between the valleys, it'll be very easy for the wind to force us into that southerly wall, and we'd have no real way of getting out of this. So you'll see my nose is pointed kind of towards the left-hand wall. That's keeping us kind of centralized in the channel. Should help us out a little bit. So we come through here. Once we clear this pass, we will come out on Menzinen Lake and the plain. Interesting fact, though. We should be coming out on the Menzinen kind of basin area, which is kind of famous, and I'll tell you why when we get there. Although I will say it's more famous in aviation history than it is in any other kind of history, and military history, actually. Yes, a big open plain and a basin in British Columbia is quite famous. Come on, you pig. That's it. That's it. Good girl. Come on. Just through this one tight crosswind valley for Mum. Come on, let's do it. Uh-huh. Yep. Oof. Yeah, unfortunately one thing that P3D doesn't handle necessarily as well as it should do is that wind coming to this sort of valley should really particularly blow over the top of it, and I should be kind of wind free down here in the depths of the valley, as we are basically kind of in a trough. Magically the wind kind of comes through it, which is why it's forcing me so dramatically towards that kind of downwind side. Look at the glacier coming down the mountainside there. Woo! Hello. Giving you a bit of an interesting view there. That's hillside. No, come on. That's closer than comfort would like. Okay, not too far away now from Menzinen Lake. Meziandin Lake, sorry. Meziandin, that's what we're going for. Oh, come on. Gusts be darned. Keep ourselves a little bit crosswind here, about 123 knots across the ground. Things doing okay so far. We're trying to keep our power in a good arc, but we need to be running a bit more closely to max continuous power at the moment, just by virtue of the wind being so strong. We need something to keep ourselves on direction. Now our approach and landing at the Nass River Camp is going to be one we'll have to decide on the ground. I'm going to make an attempted pass over there. We'll see what it's like. If the winds let me, I'm going to try and land with some flap. If not, I may have to land flaps up just to keep my crosswind profile as low. We'll see what we can see. But with the projected winds in the region of 35 to 25 knots, it's about 10 to 15 knots over max demonstrated crosswind component for this aircraft. Now, the max demonstrated is typically what the POH states, Pilot Operating Handbook. A lot of the times that's based on what they actually demonstrated during flight testing, because it's the strongest wind they came across. It's not necessarily the max component it can handle. A lot of aircraft can handle way higher numbers, but it's the one they most safely demonstrated. And in many cases there is the ability for more inexperienced pilots to just land somewhere else with a better runway heading, or find a different runway at that airport to land on that's going to be safer. It's one of those situations where you just have to go with what you have to go with, and the more experienced you are with a certain type, the more easily you can handle more extreme conditions. So based on my extreme calculations and that little computer screen in front of me, we should be seeing Meziandin Lake in just a moment's time. I think I can see it just off our nose there. And we've managed to make it out of the pass. That's the pass we've just come down behind us. Look at that. This is horrible. Woohoo! Okay, well now we're getting buffeted pretty hard here, actually. Okay, so I can see Nass River just branching off about here, so that's where we need to head to. Roughly that location. Shouldn't take us too long, but you'll see our ground speed here. We've got 138 knots now as we're running almost due cross wind. Drop our power a little bit so we're a little bit more manageable. Visual reference to the ground is pretty hard with no actual horizon. I'm having to kind of base it on my instruments to an extent, and visually looking at the window at the ground below me. Plus deal with turbulence that's throwing the aeroplane around. So here's the lake, or the start of Meziandin Lake. So our camp shouldn't be too far ahead. Oh, we're climbing. Like I said, this is kind of IFR conditions, but we're running VFR flight operations because there's literally no way to navigate IFR here. Unless I can set a custom waypoint in the GPS and predefine my altitudes and run it like the trench run in Hunt for Red October with a stopwatch and a map. Which is theoretically possible, but not when you have to count in crosswinds, although you can calculate them to an extent. Nothing's a replacement for good old set of eyes, which is why I flew lower today rather than higher, safer through the clouds, not being able to see anything. So we are coming up to the first headland here on our right for the lake, which should put us on almost a due heading about 110 for the Nass River. Let's try and actually get ourselves onto that heading now and hold it at least, rather than aimlessly following riverbanks. Whoa, come on. That's it. Good aeroplane. Yeah, this is getting a bit fun. Just wait till we have to land. You ain't seen nothing yet. This has been the easy part. Takeoff, squirrely. Flying, squirrely. Trying to not get smushed into mountains, squirrely. Landing. Hold on to your hats, boys. It's gonna get fun. Okay, so we've got our riverbank there. Oh. Yeah, the instruments are all over the place in this cockpit right now. Oopsie. Well, it's not like anyone could see me. And it's not like the Flightsim transponder actually does anything. Unfortunately, it's just a force of habit that I should be putting in, and when I looked at it, realised I hadn't turned it on. That's a problem. Something I should do. But with how quickly we had to get out of here and how nasty the weather was, I completely forgot. Pilot error. Yeah, unfortunately in the Coronado planes it doesn't really do much, so it's one of those things you just gotta simulate for procedure. Okay, I think I see the entrance to Nass River up ahead of us. And that's the road that's blocked through the pass we just came through. So whilst this logging road does exist, it can't get through that pass behind us, which is why planes are the only access right now. Normally in the summer they're fine, but with the mud and rock slides it's closed. Winter, completely closed. Impassable. Okay, so this is us up ahead. And the Nass River. There we go, just below us. Whoa, put your nose down, thank you. So there's a small strip with a couple of lodges just up ahead of us, which is not where we're going. And then there's the mining camp just beyond it. So the mining camp should be about here, based on the maps I looked at. Should be able to get there in no trouble whatsoever. If we're on course, I should see the... I think that's just below us there. Come on. Stop flying like a pig. Yeah, there's the small strip and the houses there below us, see? There's the cabins and the small grass strip for the hunters and people who want to come out and explore the wild. Now, what I was going to tell you about this area is, why is this famous? Actually, in 1950, February, a B-36 Peacemaker crashed here. The first ever loss of a nuclear no-no. Yep. It's lost 3 engines, couldn't maintain altitude. They dumped the nuclear no-no over the inside passage. The plane flew on here. The pilot and crew all bailed out. A couple of them landed in the water and unfortunately died of hypothermia. 12 out of 17 survived. The plane crashed into mountains, basically there, in that sort of region. Wasn't found for 6 years, the wreckage. It was nearly completely lost. It was heading from Ellison Air Force Base in Fairbanks to Carswell Air Force Base in Texas on a training flight with a practice core and a nuclear no-no. Yeah. This is also the first ever incident of loss of a nuclear no-no in American history, and the whole concept of the broken arrow thing. And I think I see the camp ahead of us. Maybe? I'm not sure. should be up here somewhere, but the weather's disorientating me. I think we'll go way past it. Yeah, you see the conditions we're flying in? It's almost impossible to see where you're going. And with the river forking off over there. Theoretically, we should have seen it. There should be no way we shouldn't have seen it. But those are the breaks, I guess. Although the river does come back towards the road. Am I completely imagining the distance? Because... no, we're well off the beaten track now. Okay, time to turn around and do the right thing. We might be cutting some of this out because of the massive amounts of lostness. Okay, so here's our river. We need to look for the road. There's the road forking away from the river. So we're looking for a section where the road and river are pretty close to each other. We'll put Otto back on so we can actually guide us here. Because I'd prefer Otto's guiding hand to my own. This way I can spend more time looking out the window and trying to find where we're going to in this horrible crap. You can see though how disorientating this is. It's just whiteout conditions. In fact, I'm going to go to this side of the plane. Just lean over so I can look out the window. Try and keep my eyes on the road below us. This is what we're looking for. Yeah, we flew past it in the bad weather because essentially we should have basically been there almost as we got towards that, just past that small camp, the fishing village, camp, hunting lodge as I mentioned to you guys earlier. That should have been where we were. So we're on this long spur here. So as we head towards a kink in the river, which will be roughly looking for this now. Am I really that lost? No, wow, we've overflown by a long distance. That's how far the wow, okay, it's 20 miles to the lake again. We have gone way too far. Okay, yeah. We completely overflew this. Bad weather meant we got completely lost and turned around in the conditions. With so few landmarks, it's hard. It really is. This is one of the big things of pilot distraction though. I've been so distracted by the weather conditions and by trying to control the aircraft and navigate the aircraft at the same time through almost barely flight legal conditions. It's too much workload. So we got us the kink here, which I think is roughly where we're headed to. The right hand bend, camp should be there. So we keep our eyes on this side as soon as we get past this bend. Let's keep our eyes out this window. We're looking for that camp strip. fact, considering I know that's coming up. Let's stay with the road, shall we? Because the river's proven unreliable. The river's down there below for us. Okay, so between this section here and this is where we're aiming for. So it's there. It should be there. Well, it's about halfway up, I should say, actually. So it's about here. But I should have known this the first time. That's my own fault for not having completely prepped and pulled this up so I could actually look at the river shaping. My own navigational error. Oh god, the wind's kicking my ass here. 113 heading this way. This is what's adding to our time in the air. So we stay with the road over here. And we should see the camp there. I hope. I really hope. I'm getting so frustrated with this. And what's our fuel level? Oh, we need to switch tanks anyway. Been on the left tank too long. There's the road. The camp should be here. Come on. I thought I knew we were heading the right place, and I was like, no. Must have been here. And we must have just flown straight past it. That's how difficult it is to see anything. Okay, so we are back here, and I need to apologize for making a horrendous navigation error because there's our field. Yeah. I got disorientated in the conditions. My plane was in the wrong angle for me to see what I was looking for. And unfortunately that meant I lost visual and I got disorientated and I flew on. So I got lost. It happens. VFR and IFR conditions, getting lost is kind of a common thing. I started the radio frequency for the camp. So we need 0.1. Nass River Mine, November 3038 is coming in for landing. We've got the heart medication on board. Conditions at this time. .038 copy. Yeah, actually, I'm going to try and make an approach, see what the weather's like on landing, and if I can make it in, I'll do so on a second pass, but we'll be down in no time. We got a little distracted. I'm sure you guys heard us fly over a minute ago. We missed the camp and we flew on southbound a little distance before realizing our mistake, so we're going to make an approach now. There's no inbound traffic here expected, so there's our field. We're going to try and put this down on our first go if the weather lets us. I think the fact that we had 35 knot tailwind kind of made navigation more difficult because I came past the camp faster than I expected to. So rather than the predicted kind of flight speed, cruise speed of the aircraft, I was coming in a lot quicker than I wanted to, which distracted me and got me very mixed up. And that's one of those mistakes of flight that you have to learn from and become a better pilot through. So we are up there, so we'll throw in 2 notches of flaps, about 20 degrees, and there's the strip ahead of us. If I can make it on the first landing, I will. Let's see what the wind does to us, though. Okay, see this thing? Dirt strip there? That's the mine camp there, and that is the runway. And it's on top of a cliff, so our approach has to be very careful here. Yeah, we're getting blown off course by the headwind, so we're going to throw ourselves into a crab, give us some more power. Oh, this is nasty. This is nasty. Come on. We're a little bit high. If I drop the power off, then I'm going to glide. Oh man, this is horrible. We're floating like crazy. Might be better off making it abort and coming in with no flaps. Unless I can make this work. Come on. That's the ticket. Come on. That's the ticket. We might make it down in this run. Come on. Just kick a power to level us out, and we're down. Okay. That was better than I expected. Let's get those flaps up so we're not becoming a kite. November 3038, NAS mine. Yeah, we're down. We're taxiing back. Can you send a truck out to come pick this stuff up? I want to get out of here. Okay. So. Here is the office. We're just going to shut down real quick and get these guys what they need. So. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thanks. Now I'm getting out of here. This weather's meant to sock in later this afternoon. Alright, take it easy. Bye. That was easy for me. Props up and running again. Alright, let's get uphill and get ourselves downhill for the takeoff. And get the hell out of here. Always want to take off downhill where possible. It's going to give us a tailwind, which is not ideal. But I'd rather not take off uphill. Okay. Braking on wet dirt is not fun. Let's rock and roll. November 3038, NAS mine traffic departing to the south. Whoa! Hello! Yeah. Yeah. We bounced a few times there on takeoff, but we made it. Le oof. Yeah, slammed my left main gear down pretty hard there, and I picked up with the wind, and you heard the stall horn squeal there. But we got up. That was hairy. Needed to keep the left wing down a bit more. Okay, and we're airborne. We're going to get ourselves set up back north for home to Stuart, and yeah, welcome to the crazy life out here in the wild, in pretty much the nastiest conditions you can imagine. Well folks, it's been a trip, including getting lost, so thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I can't wait to go back to Stuart and sit down and relax with a cup of tea, which I'll be doing, so thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye!